I'm mowing the lawn fairly short, so the homeowners won't have to mow it again for a few weeks. Kevin, that's great. The key to using the grub hoe in this circumstance is we want to go shallow, get rid of all the weeds and leave all the good topsoil behind. Now what I want to do is cut a nice clean edge between the healthy lawn and the damaged lawn. To do that, I'm going to use this steel edger. Now if I came and just did a straight line all the way down, it would really draw your attention to the old and the new. You'd notice the difference. So what we're going to do, we've got a little damaged grass here, is we're just going to come around and make a curve, just a slight curve, and that'll be enough to keep your eye from recognizing that this is new lawn. Okay. So I'm going to come all the way down here, and you can start up there. When I get down here, I'm just going to sweep it right out to here. Now the last step in our preparation is to loosen the soil so that those new roots can go down into it. Okay. We're not going to take and flip the soil over with these forks. We're just going to take and loosen it by sticking them in and turning. Okay.
And how is the soil, Roger? Do we have to add anything? Any amendments?
This soil is great, Kevin. Not too heavy, not too light. It's perfect for growing grass in. Okay. The only thing I am going to add is some lime. The soil in this area is notoriously acidic, so we're going to add the lime to lower that acidity. Okay. Now we're ready for seed, and when it comes to seed, there are a lot of options. You go to the garden center and there's just rows and rows of seed. What I usually do is I buy bulk seed. I buy 25, 50-pound bags of a straight seed. Now this is a blend of different types of seed. And anytime you buy grass seed, you can look on the back of the bag and it'll tell you exactly what's in there. In this case, it's bluegrass, red fescue, and ryegrass. Okay. This is a good all-around seed. Okay. Now one thing, when you go and you see anything that says quick or fast, you better check the contents of the bag. In this case, it's 90% annual ryegrass. That means it comes up really quick, but it only lives for 1 year.
So you have to actually reseed that area? Why would anyone do that?
In a construction site where you might want to get a quick cover on and you know you're going to turn it over again and do the lawn later, that would be where you would use that.
Okay. And what have you got here, Roger?
That is seed that's been coated with a cornstarch polymer, and that's going to hold moisture against the seed and help it to germinate quickly. Now these two are just seed. When you use them, you have to add some other things. You have to add starter fertilizer and you have to add a mulch on top to help hold water in the ground. All right, and what about this one? What you have there comes as a block, and if you look closely, you see it's made up of fertilizer and seed and a paper cellulose mulch.
All right, and the idea is that if you've got all three ingredients in one, it's always going to have favorable growing conditions for the seed?
That's right. Now here's another combination of mulch, seed, and fertilizer, only this time it's a coconut fiber mulch.
Okay, so the combo options are going to be more expensive than straight seed though, right?
Right, but in a small area like this, the extra cost is going to be very, very small.
All right, well, which one do you want to use?
I'm going to use the coconut fiber one.
Nice.
And we're going to put down about an 1/8 inch covering, which is what the manufacturer recommends.
So Roger, what can you tell me about watering?
The most important step, Kevin. Without the proper watering, all our good work could be undone. So that means you want to keep the top layer 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep moist for that seed to germinate.
So we're going to be out here watering at least once a day.
You could be out here 2 or 3 times a day if it was a real sunny, hot day.
And if we do all of that, how long until we have a lawn?
In about a week, the ryegrass will germinate, 2 weeks, the bluegrass, 3 weeks, you'll have a pretty good stand of grass here.
Awesome.
Well, Kevin, what do you think?
I think it looks great, Roger. Complete success. I mean, look how green and thick this new lawn is.
Yeah, it's actually grown up high enough. We're ready for our first cut. Now, there's a couple of rules that go along with that first cut. The first is the 1/3 rule. I only want to take off 1/3 of the blade at a time on this new lawn. So this is about 3 inches tall, so I'm going to cut it at 2 inches, which is the height I have my mower set at.
All right.
The other thing is I want to bag those clippings.
So we don't rake them off or even leave the clippings on? Sometimes you do that for the nutrients?
No, we're going to collect them all in the bag because 2 reasons. First, if I leave the clippings on, they could actually smother the plant and kill it.
Yeah.
And if the clippings are left on and you go to rake them, this grass is so newly rooted. See how shallow that is? That if you rake it, you could pull all those out.
All right, so get some mowing.
Right, and we're going to start down here. On a newly seeded lawn, I want to be really careful where I make my turns. I try to make them on the hardscaping, like the driveway or the walk. If I turn on a newly seeded lawn, I can rip some of those seedlings right out of the ground. Now, there's a little bit of brown in the front lawn, but that's the old lawn that was here. It was so long that when it cut it, it's showing a little bit of brown, but that'll green up in a couple of days. One more important step. I want this lawn fertilized again in a couple of weeks so it'll get strong.
All right, well, you know what? It already looks great, Roger. Nice job.
Thanks.
So until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor.
I'm Roger Cook.
For Ask This Old House. Hey, don't put that away. We got one more lawn to mow.
Yours?
You got it, baby. Let's go.